Have you ever felt that some relationships, even those with family, drain your energy and disturb your peace? In our later years, when emotional well-being becomes more important than ever, the company we keep can shape the quality of our daily lives. This video takes an honest look at 5 types of people whose presence may do more harm than good as you age. Today we will explore how certain behaviors and attitudes, whether from a close relative or a longtime friend, can hinder your ability to live a fulfilling and peaceful life. We understand that no one wants to cut ties with family or loved ones lightly. However, it is important to recognize that not all relationships contribute positively to your happiness. Some individuals, despite their familial bond, may be trapped in patterns of negativity, excessive dependence, or constant conflict. These toxic influences can create stress and prevent you from enjoying the freedom and self-respect you deserve in your later years. In this video, we will reveal how to identify the chronic complainer, the money-hungry opportunist, the overly critical and judgmental person, the drama magnet, and the overly dependent or controlling individual. Our goal is not to condemn these people, but to help you understand which relationships might be standing in the way of your well-being. You have the right to protect your peace and choose to surround yourself with those who truly uplift you. As you watch, reflect on the people in your life and consider if any of these patterns resonate with your own experiences. We invite you to listen with an open heart and mind as we offer practical advice on setting healthy boundaries and creating a more supportive environment. This journey is about reclaiming your power and ensuring that your relationships add value to your life rather than drain it. Let us begin this conversation together. Chapter 1. The Chronic Complainer. Imagine waking up each day only to be met with constant negativity from someone who seems to find fault in every situation. Picture a person whose every conversation turns into a lengthy list of grievances, where the focus is always on what is wrong rather than on the small moments of joy that life still offers. This is the chronic complainer, someone whose unrelenting pessimism slowly takes a toll on your spirit, especially when you are in a stage of life where your emotional strength is vital. Think of the weight it can carry when you are surrounded by someone whose words are like a persistent cloud, casting a shadow over even the brightest days. In your later years, when you are trying to nurture peace and contentment, the constant emphasis on life's difficulties can drain your energy and make it harder to appreciate the simple pleasures that remain. The influence of such negativity can affect your mood and your ability to focus on what truly matters. It is important to understand that this behavior often stems from deep-seated issues that the complainer may not even be fully aware of. Their habit of dwelling on the negative does not justify its effect on you, nor should it force you to carry the burden of their discontent. Instead, it is an opportunity to recognize that your peace of mind is precious and must be guarded. In moments when you find yourself in the company of a chronic complainer, consider gently steering the conversation toward more uplifting topics. You might find that limiting your exposure to such negativity, even if only for a short period, helps you maintain your own sense of well-being. It is not about cutting ties abruptly or judging the other person harshly. It is about making a conscious choice to protect your emotional space so that you can continue to thrive. Reflect on your personal experiences and notice how the presence of a chronic complainer has influenced your mood and energy. Recognize that preserving your happiness and inner calm is a vital part of living well in your later years. This awareness is the first step toward creating a life filled with positive interactions and nurturing environments. In this chapter, we have examined the impact of constant negativity on your emotional health. The goal is to empower you with the knowledge to set healthy boundaries and to surround yourself with influences that uplift and support you. As you continue your journey, remember that your well-being matters and that protecting your peace is an act of self-respect. Chapter 2. The Money-Hungry Opportunist. Imagine encountering someone who seems more interested in your resources than in your well-being. Picture a person who always finds a way to ask for money or favors, often without offering genuine support in return. This is the money-hungry opportunist, someone who may appear caring on the surface, but whose underlying motives are driven by personal gain. Their presence can create stress and anxiety, particularly when you are trying to enjoy the peace and independence you have worked so hard to secure. As you navigate your later years, your financial security becomes a cornerstone of your comfort and freedom. The constant pressure from someone focused on exploiting your generosity can disrupt that stability. You might notice that every encounter with this individual leaves you feeling drained and concerned about your resources, rather than uplifted by a supportive relationship. Their persistent demands can gradually erode not only your finances, but also your trust in those you consider family or friends. It is important to recognize that this behavior is not always malicious on its face. Sometimes, individuals develop this pattern out of habit, or because they have never learned how to balance their needs with respect for others. However, when their actions consistently lead to financial strain or emotional discomfort, it becomes clear that protecting your own interests must come first. A healthy relationship should be built on mutual respect and support, not on one-sided expectations. When you find yourself repeatedly faced with requests that seem to take more than they give, it may be time to set clear boundaries. This might mean saying no to unnecessary loans, or gently steering conversations away from topics that trigger a sense of obligation. You deserve relationships that contribute to your sense of security and well-being, rather than ones that leave you feeling vulnerable or taken advantage of. Reflect on your personal experiences and consider the impact that such opportunistic behavior has had on your life. It is not selfish to protect your hard-earned savings and to ensure that your interactions are based on genuine care, rather than financial exploitation. In your later years, safeguarding your financial independence is an essential part of maintaining your overall quality of life. In this chapter, we have explored the challenges posed by the money-hungry opportunist. The focus is on empowering you to recognize when financial boundaries are being crossed and to take the necessary steps to preserve your resources. By setting clear limits and being mindful of your interactions, you can maintain both your peace of mind and your financial stability. Remember that your security is a vital aspect of your freedom, and protecting it is a key element of living confidently and independently as you age. Chapter 3. The overly critical and judgmental. Imagine being in a conversation where every remark feels like a verdict, every comment a judgment on your choices. Picture a person who never hesitates to point out flaws or criticize your decisions, leaving you feeling diminished and constantly second-guessing yourself. This is the overly critical and judgmental individual, a person whose endless commentary can undermine your self-esteem and tarnish the peace you deserve as you navigate your later years. Consider how it feels when every suggestion or observation is met with harsh criticism rather than constructive advice. This type of behavior can make you feel as if you are never quite enough, even when you are doing your best. Their constant evaluation of your actions or appearance can turn everyday interactions into battles that leave you emotionally exhausted. When you are striving to find contentment and confidence, the weight of relentless judgment can be a serious barrier to enjoying your time and living authentically. It is important to understand that while feedback can sometimes be helpful, there is a clear difference between constructive criticism and unrelenting judgment that focuses solely on negative aspects. The overly critical person often seems to have an endless list of expectations that are impossible to meet. Their observations tend to highlight imperfections rather than celebrate strengths, causing you to doubt your worth and wonder if you can ever live up to their standards. In dealing with such individuals, one of the most empowering strategies is to develop a strong sense of self-worth that is not easily shaken by others' opinions. Remind yourself that you have the right to choose which voices influence your life. When faced with excessive criticism, try to maintain your inner calm and remember that their words reflect their own issues rather than the truth of who you are. It is okay to gently disengage from conversations that leave you feeling devalued, and it is perfectly acceptable to set boundaries that protect your emotional well-being. Reflect on your own experiences and consider how the constant criticism of someone who is overly judgmental has affected your mood or your self-image. Recognizing the impact of these interactions is the first step toward reclaiming your sense of joy and confidence. Over time, you may find that reducing your exposure to such negativity helps you nurture more supportive and affirming relationships that encourage your growth and celebrate your achievements. In this chapter, we have delved into the challenges posed by individuals who focus on criticism rather than encouragement. The aim is to empower you to recognize when excessive judgment is affecting your quality of life and to take steps to protect your mental and emotional space. Your well-being is too important to be overshadowed by constant negativity, and you deserve to engage with people who uplift you rather than tear you down. As you move forward, let your inner strength guide you in choosing relationships that foster positivity and genuine support. Chapter 4. The Drama Magnet. Imagine a person who thrives on conflict, someone who seems to create tension wherever they go. In your later years, when peace and calm are especially valuable, the presence of a drama magnet can disrupt your daily tranquility. This individual appears to find a way to turn even the simplest situation into a whirlwind of conflict and discord. Conversations quickly escalate into disputes, and minor disagreements become major battles that leave you feeling exhausted and on edge. The drama magnet feeds on chaos and thrives in an environment of constant emotional turmoil. When you are seeking stability and calm, their unpredictable behavior can undermine your efforts to cultivate a peaceful life. Their constant need to stir up trouble may come from unresolved issues or a deep-seated desire for attention. Regardless of the reason, the result is the same: a persistent disturbance that drains your energy and interferes with your ability to focus on what truly matters. Dealing with a drama magnet requires a clear understanding of your own boundaries. When interactions with such individuals start to escalate, it is important to step back and protect your emotional space. You might choose to limit the time you spend with them, or steer conversations away from topics that are likely to trigger conflict. Recognizing that their behavior is more about their own inner struggles than about you can help you maintain a sense of detachment. This does not mean you must abandon compassion. Rather, it is an act of self-preservation to ensure that your peace is not constantly disturbed by unnecessary drama. Reflect on the impact that constant upheaval has on your day-to-day life. Notice how stress and anxiety rise after encounters filled with conflict, and acknowledge the importance of surrounding yourself with people who contribute to your well-being. The decision to distance yourself from drama is not about being unkind. It is about prioritizing your own happiness and the stability you deserve as you age. Chapter 5. The Overly Dependent or Controlling. Now, consider a person who is excessively dependent or controlling. Someone whose need to dictate decisions or rely on you for every little thing can feel suffocating. In later years, when you value your independence and the freedom to make choices that honor your own needs, such behavior can become particularly challenging. An overly dependent person may constantly seek reassurance or try to impose their ideas about how things should be done, leaving you feeling overwhelmed and robbed of your personal autonomy. This type of relationship often manifests as a pattern of one-sided expectations, where the other person appears incapable of functioning independently. Their reliance on you may extend to minor details in everyday life, and their attempts to control situations can interfere with your ability to enjoy your own space. While it is natural to want to help those we care about, a relationship that consistently limits your freedom is ultimately unsustainable. Your later years should be a time for nurturing your independence and making decisions that reflect your own wisdom and experience. One way to manage an overly dependent or controlling individual is to set firm yet compassionate boundaries. It is important to communicate clearly about what you are willing to help with and what you need to handle on your own. This conversation can be difficult, especially when it involves family members, but it is a necessary step in preserving your own well-being. You deserve relationships that honor your autonomy and respect your need for personal space. Reflect on your own experiences and consider how a controlling presence has affected your ability to live freely. Acknowledge that seeking help and support is important, but that you also have the right to lead a life that is guided by your own choices. Cultivating relationships based on mutual respect and independence will help you feel more secure and confident as you move forward. The goal is to nurture connections that empower you rather than those that restrict your growth. As we reach the end of our exploration into the types of relationships that may hinder your peace in later years, it is important to remember that your well-being comes first. The chronic complainer, the money-hungry opportunist, The overly critical and judgmental person, the drama magnet, and the overly dependent or controlling individual can all take a toll on your emotional and mental health. By recognizing these patterns and setting healthy boundaries, you reclaim control over your life and create space for more supportive, uplifting connections.